Hey now, it's Sharon, and I'm back to share another experience with you guys, another policing experience with you guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm a 20-year detective, retired. I work for a southeastern city in the US, and I was also in the military. I share my experiences and my perspectives, especially about reforming the police because of the things that I've experienced. And with that being said, it's a little storytelling time. I made 2 videos about it. I actually kept a diary at the beginning of my policing career, and then I went back to it when I started to, when I blew the whistle the first time. I picked it back up, and I kept a diary throughout my policing career, mainly. And the second time I had to blow the whistle, I kept a more extensive diary because of the things I learned the first time. And so I share some of that stuff in 2 of my videos. I think they're called The Whistleblower's Diary. And so I wanted to tell you a little story of how I got to this position in making these videos and why I make these videos. And the main reason why I make these videos is just to help someone see it a different way, or see a different perspective that they didn't even want to see, maybe, or hadn't thought of. And also my ideas on reforming the police come from my experiences and talking with other officers in other jurisdictions and things like that. And policing, it needs to be reformed. The goals within policing need to be revamped, from what I experienced. And a lot of my ideas and views came at the time when I blew the whistle the first time. I was retaliated against, ostracized to some degree, and then a few years later blew on the whistle again, and then the ostracism was severe, the retaliation was severe, and I kept like a more detailed diary, so I share that in the book also. And the details, I try to share what I was thinking at the time, what I was feeling at the time. I share what happens in a certain given situation, but I share what I was going through on a mental and spiritual and physical level. And I talked about my hair falling out because of the stress and things like that, the aneurysm that I was diagnosed with, the brain aneurysm. All those things I believe came as a result of stress and carrying that weight of being a victim of the truth. Really, telling the truth and then becoming a victim of it. I share that in my book. You hear a lot of times people, the whistleblowers, you hear what they went through, the extremes, some of them more extreme than some of the things that I went through. But you don't hear about the daily ideas and situations that present themselves to the whistleblowers and that you have to walk through. And sometimes you're walking through it alone. And I say alone as in when you go into the agency and you're met with, criticisms, retaliation. Your family goes through it with you also. So I'm not negating the family. Even though, officers, as whistleblowers, we try to keep the family out of it, but they can see you, they can hear you, they can tell when you're out of sorts. And so I'm sharing all these experiences, letting people know, policing is not the ideal. We grew up on Batman and Robin, the good guys, the bad guys, things like that. Policing is not that cut and dry because it's filled with individuals such as myself, individuals with other mindsets. And I talk about that stuff because I encountered people with different mindsets than my own. And I actually thought when I got into policing, I was amongst my own with the same mindset. I even did a video on that one. And I came quick to realize, no, nope. And I even talked about my own mindset, how I bought into the whole idea of, this us versus them, and we got to go get the bad guys. And truly, are there bad guys? Or just people making bad decisions? That's a question you got to answer. I've already answered it. And what I saw in policing and, saturating certain areas and then taking people out. And I started to look at what my policing, individual, Sharon, was doing to a particular area, because I like going to a certain area and scooping them up, as we used to say. And then I started to kind of sympathize, I guess, put myself in that person's place. And then I started to take a broader look. And fast forward to 2023, here we are, I'm talking about it. And I just want to tell that little bit about why and how my mindset came into using this using this platform as a table to share what I know, and hopefully we can put it into a working plan. I actually have a plan put together, and this is my table I'm sharing on how to reform the police. Do I think policing needs to be abolished? No. But it can be reformed. We can retool it and set different goals. And it's a solution to what I think is the problem. Now, of course, we're going to get pushback. A lot of it has to do with mindsets. And my mindset, the foundation in my mind, is one, I'm a believer in the finished works of Christ. And I believe that God loves me. And so I started to allow that to clear my vision up, if you will, while I was policing. Of course, my personal life, I have other issues. But in policing, I saw the issue, and I saw my issues even clearer. And so I had the whistle blowing on me. I write that in the book. And I'm not going to give too much about that, but I had the whistle blown on me, and I put it in the book. And that really helped me open my eyes and see things in policing that they weren't right. And I was doing them. I was helping. I was filled with the pea and vinegar, as they say. I was ready to go get them. Everybody going to jail. Grandma, everybody going to jail. And like I said, I started to take a step back and look and sympathize and like, okay, what are we really doing if we're supposed to be peacekeepers, keeping the peace? Are we really keeping the peace? And I talked about in the last video. But yeah, I just want to share that little bit on how I came about to making these videos and why I'm making them. And I will share some more, and hopefully the book will be finished by then in terms of just making the grammar corrections, the editing corrections, and things like that. And I hope to have it next week and share it with you guys. All right, take a look at our online store. The link is in the description. And always remember, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. That's why I'm here, sharing it with you. Talk to you later. Bye.